Anyways, so I have a question for you. And this isn't really a question, this is more of a statement. Orange Airheads suck. I ate one, but it sucks. You may be wondering, why am I saying that? What does that have to do with anything? Nothing really. I just want to voice my disgust for orange flavored Airheads because I know they can do better. Even like artificial grape tastes better than whatever the fuck this is. Kind of expected though. It's fucking orange and over here tasting like fucking ball hair. Anyways, album of the day today is Pat Metheny's album Letter from Home. And this is one of my favorite Pat Metheny albums ever because I feel like every song on here just is coherent in its own right and coherent in the process of an album and the continuum of an album. It feels like they truly knew what they wanted and truly made something together. I've always loved his album art. He said in a interview the reason why he does his album art like that is they tell him, you gotta have your face on it, they gotta match to your face. But he said that he doesn't like that, and he doesn't like putting his face on like his album covers, and he would just rather put a bunch of modern art on it instead. So we just have a bunch of pictures from like all over the place, and it's really pretty. And then not only are they just like pictures from around the world, but it's like it just kind of feels like they all matter together, But yeah, let's talk about the music. So it's a jazz fusion album, and it's led by Pat Metheny, and he is a guitarist. So a lot of it is very guitar driven by jazzy, angular guitar melodies, and his sound is a very distinct sound. If when you hear him once, it's him. He's got like a smooth kind of mellow tone that is reminiscent of like the early days of jazz, but he combines that kind of style with like Latin percussion, Latin rhythms, Latin instrumentation. And the reason why is because Pedro Aznar, the percussionist and vocalist of this group, I'm pretty sure he is from Argentina. I can't remember, but he's pretty cool. And then not only that, but Lau Mays is just a great, rest in peace, was a great keyboardist. And him and Pat weaved together like it was nothing. Steve Rodby was on bass for this one. The bass lines weren't super distinct to me, and that's not really a problem. I feel like they didn't really need to be. Paul Wertico was on drums this time, which is a good thing to see again. I love Paul. But yeah, all these songs, they have a very like distinct kind of rhythmic touch to them that you can really only find in a Pat Metheny album. And I would also divide it into two sides. So I feel like the first 6 songs are very driven by Pat, and I'd say like the latter 6 are more driven by the group. Have you heard Every Summer Night, Better Days Ahead, and Spring Ain't Here are very very reminiscent of like Pat Metheny's earlier work, where it's like everyone is playing along to him as opposed to we're all playing like things together in a way. And I think that the latter half, it just kind of feels like they all gave into experimentation and all were like, let's do that. A great example is Are We There Yet is in Locrian. The Locrian mode, that is the rarest musical mode, I'm pretty sure, when in Western music. Very rare. I think that's like one of the only Locrian songs that I personally know. It's very rhythmically complex as well. Vidala has lyrics in it, actual singing, and same with Dream of the Return. So Dream of the Return, Are We There Yet, Vidala, Slip Away, and Letter from Home, the final tracks of this album, feel like a coherent story on their own. It kind of feels like all the other songs are like leading you in. They're kind of leading you into the story. Dream of the Return is a very smooth, melancholic, almost sappy melody that just plays, and it's in Spanish, and it's really beautiful. Vidala has pan flutes in it, and it has like this kind of like South American touch to it that just makes it feel very distinct, with chord structures that feel very ominous and tense and add lots of suspension. The latter half of Are We There Yet is one of the most suspenseful tracks I think Pat Metheny and the gang have ever made, aside from from Distance, which was on their other album Still Life Talking, which is also a really good one. If you like this, check that one out. Slip Away is a great song. I have the single. I didn't even know that it came in a single. I should have brought it with me, but I have the single for this, and it's a great song, honestly. Like, you can't go wrong with it. It's an upbeat, catchy melody with a really nice drum groove, and Letter From Home is a very nice ending to the story. It just feels like all of this is a coherent story. And Are We There Yet and Vidala go right into each other. Slip Away and Letter From Home go right into each other. Dream of the Return and Are We There Yet go into each other. So it's like these last tracks are just, they go right into each other, you know? And I feel like the first 4 songs are like solo material, like Pat Metheny soloing over this. And then the latter half of the album, as I said multiple times, is really just a coherent story on its own. Every song is great by itself, but it's perfect together, that kind of thing. I do think the song's going a little too long, so if you don't like long songs, you won't really like this. If improvisation kind of bores you, and if smoother jazz fusion bores you, you might not like it. For fans of any jazz fusion, that's really all I can say. If you like Miles Davis's jazz fusion, even Herbie Hancock, I'm trying to think of other jazz fusion artists. That one guy that did a Cologne concert, what's his name? He's like Jewish. He's got like curly hair, and he's a percussionist. I can't remember his name, but he's great. You would like this album if you like that kind of jazz fusion, the kind of smoother ECM style jazz. But yeah, it's a great album, and I would totally recommend it to anyone that wants to get into jazz fusion. I think this is a perfect starting point. It's highly accessible while still being very rhythmically and technically complex. But yeah,